Hi guys, welcome back to Barry's Boot Camp. Today we're going to talk about your annual training, a compulsory task that every tester has to conduct. Importantly, using the MOT juice system, it gives you the opportunity to demonstrate it and prove it to a VE when he asks to see it. Our training is broken into 15-minute modules. You can do them as quickly or slowly as you wish. If you've joined us previously or it's the start of the year, great, you only need to do one a month. If you've joined us halfway through the year, then you're going to have 6 months of them to catch up on, so you're going to have to do a bit of work there. Each module, as you do a question and complete a question, that will move you to that place. So if you want to log out or something happens and you can't finish that module, don't worry, you can just log out and it will pick up where it left off. So I think what we'll do is we'll dive straight into a training module that we're going to use to make this bootcamp session, and that will give you the skills and knowledge to be able to do your training on your own, I hope. Always remember there's support and help available from MOT Juice, so if you're stuck, give us a call, do a support ticket, but let's dive in. So guys, here we are looking at this screen here. We can talk about testers' tasks. In bootcamp we're going to cover various tasks, as I believe we've talked about before, and today we're going to be on training. So let's jump into a training module. So here we are at the home screen. I'm just going to log in like so. We're doing DVSA training. You can see me doing training here. You can get to your training over here in the training center by clicking training. That brings up your grid. You can see how much 15 minutes of training that I've done each month. I've done this month's one. I can drill into other bits of training there by clicking on those boxes. They're all links to drive you towards your training. So we go in there, there's training modules available there. For the sake of this video, I'm going to use a training module that's actually under my CPD. Don't worry about CPD today, we just need to jump in here. So, begin a training module, quite straightforward. Here we are, this is question 1. So, what MOT testing class is a dual purpose vehicle? So there's our question, and over here is a research document. You can mouse over it, or you can click here, down here, to enlarge it. So that will give me the answer. We've highlighted the answers in here so that it's easy for this training module. So a dual purpose vehicle is a class 4. I can close that. I can see my answers down here. I select the answer that I think is correct, and I go to the next question. Pretty straightforward, and I hope pretty easy. All of these questions will be on the curriculum that is set for the training year that you're doing, and they will reflect the questions and answers that you're going to get asked in your annual exam. So let's try a few more questions as we get the hang of this. What would be the heaviest design gross weight of an American pickup that can be tested as a class 4 vehicle? Our research document over here will tell us the answer. We can make it bigger to read it if we want. It's 6,500. We can close that, select our answer, and move on to the next question. So we can see it's a fairly simple process. Some of the questions might be multiple choice where you need to select more than one answer. So the question we've put in here, select the correct EU classes for minibuses, motor caravans and dual purpose. You can see over there in the research document that it is M1 or M2, so we can select those from our answers and move to the next question. Some of the questions we'll ask you will be true and false, so we just have to select the right answer. So the question is, the unladen weight of a dual purpose vehicle must not exceed 2,040 kilograms. Is it true or false? Research document, pop it up quickly. It's not there, we need to scroll down, don't forget, scroll down. We're wrestling with the idea of trying to get this onto your mobile phone. I've seen lots of testers do it. If you want to do it on your mobile phone, brilliant. If you do it on your tablet, brilliant. But at this stage, it's really designed for desktop use. Okay, our answer down here, unladen weight must not exceed that. We can close that, the answer is true. We're moving on. Next question. You can see our little breadcrumb trail along this training session. We're 44% through this this training module. So each year the training is written to help you cover all of the topics that you'll be asked about in the exam. One of the complaints that we get from testers is that we ask the questions in a really stupid fashion. The reason that happens is because when you get to your annual exam, those questions are written by academics or people who aren't MOT testers. They've got the testing guide, they've got the curriculum, they read that, they ask you questions. It won't make sense to you, it's not supposed to make sense to you. Don't worry if the questions or the way we ask them annoys you, just roll with it, okay? Right, so here we are in our question 5 of this training module that's going to count towards your annual training, so that's a good thing. Don't worry that you're wasting your time here. Here we're talking about the way that questions are written. Oftentimes you really need to read the questions quite carefully, because when people write multiple choice questions, they'll put things in there to distract you or to sort of turn your head. We'll continue to do that within the training because it's our job to get you ready for the annual exam. If you're not in the right headspace for the annual exam and you start reading the questions too quickly and blurting out answers, you're going to get answers wrong. So I kind of apologise for the fact that it's written the way it is, but it is there for your own good and to help us all prepare for that annual exam. So we've asked a question here, which of these answers is in line with guidance by the DVSA. I've highlighted it there, the actual correct answer. So we'll select that answer there, which is the correct one, and move on to our next question. So for most questions, we supply a research document that has the correct answer in reasonably easy reach. But from time to time, we'll only direct you to the MOT testing manual or the testing guide. So this question looks a bit different. You can't see the answers yet. You've got to open the research document before you can get to the answers. So I'm going to go over here and click on that, which opens it up in a new tab. You can see there's my tab that I'm using there and a new tab there. So the answer is somewhere here within the MOT testing manual. You've got to find it yourself. Okay, we're not going to give you all the answers. The answer was, what is the upper defined limit? The correct answer is that there isn't one. So we can move on, but that's important just to know that we're not always going to give you the research document with the right answer highlighted. If the vehicle, so now we're into some questions just for practice and to get you really comfortable with the whole business of doing these training modules. The question here we've asked is, the vehicle you're testing has been fitted with a tow bar for towing a caravan. The ball has been unbolted or removed, leaving the brackets in place, otherwise functional. What do you do? So you've got your research document in there. You can of course still make it bigger, find the answer. The answer is that you should just test the electrical socket as normal. I'm going to answer that, but you would have needed to read through all of those things or read that to find the right answer. Next question, a typical question, or a nice easy question really. Duplicate test certificate can be issued by any VTS role at any VTS as long as it's not blah 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 blah. The question is, can you charge the customer for a duplicate test certificate? The answer is yes, you can, and a maximum of £10. So there's a few other answers that you'd need to read, but think about the fact that that question is mostly setting the scene. So it's kind of distracting you really from the meat or on the bone of what you really need to answer. So we want you to be comfortable with reading longer questions, but trying to find the actual question within all of that blurb. So we'll answer that one so that we can move on. Hopefully you're really getting the hang of this by now. Sometimes the training is structured the same for class 1 as class 3 to 4. Sometimes the training modules are merged together. So this question, I'm using this really as an example for the MOT bike testers. So the question is, and we've set the scene around this a little bit, you're testing an immaculate custom Harley that reputedly cost the owner over £60,000, and the vehicle presenter has turned up with their partner on the back of the bike, who's a stunning looking person. When assessing the exhaust noise, what is the approximate engine speed you should use to check exhaust noise? So the question's got a lot of distraction in it, but really only one question. So the answer would be half the maximum engine speed. You could have looked that up in your research document over there. That's really the end of this little training process, so we're going to finish it. Most importantly are these comments and notes. When you print out your annual training log, which you can do through the system, it lists these comments and notes, and we find that vehicle examiners really are interested in your comments or notes. So don't put comedy in there, don't put rude stuff in there, just put something constructive in there that you've learned in this particular training module. So I have learnt something worthwhile, and get it that a VE can read this. Really important. It won't let you finish the module until you've put some comments in there. Try and make them constructive. It's for your own good. Finish the module. Great stuff. You can go back and review your results, but we'll cover this in much more depth in the masterclass after this initial boot camp, so don't panic too much about that. The purpose of the boot camp is really to get you doing some basic stuff, and training is a key component of that. So it's important that we know how to do it and why we do it, which hopefully you do now. We'll have a quick jump back across to the overview so we can see where we've got to. So going back to our overview, our tester tasks of boot camp, you can see that you've now finished the training section of boot camp. The next thing we're going to do is move on to the annual exams, a nice shorter boot camp session, and then we'll move across the other metrics. But well done guys, you've finished your training boot camp. You should be able to go on and do your own training pretty much unaided by now, but don't forget there's always support available if you need it. See you in the next session. Cheers.